What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the American Nationalist 1776 channel. In today's video, we are going over all of the news that is known about the American/Israeli war with Iran. Now, we have known this was going to happen for years and years. It is quite obvious why it's happening. Israel wants to be a superpower in the Middle East, and Iran is that final step. Oh, they've toppled pretty much every other regime with the help of the American military under the guise of the GWAT, the Global War on Terror, over the last 20 or so years since the September 11th attacks in 2001. But before we get into this video, guys, we want to remind you we are over on X, same username, American Nationalist 1776, and on Rumble. If you're watching this on Rumble for whatever reason, we are also over on YouTube. YouTube very strict with we'll call them Goy rules. You can't be criticizing the little hats in the Middle East um, and expect your video to stay up. So make sure you guys show support, like, subscribe to all of those plugs, and let's get into this. And this all obviously, there's been war in the Middle East for thousands of years between these shithole countries. They just fight over power, fight over whatever it is, their own interests. Um, but the most recent stint of wars that has been going on in Israel and with Iran all started back last year in 2025. The United States and Israel bombed the Iranian nuclear sites at Fordo, Natanz, and Esfarander in the guise of stopping Iran's development of a nuclear weapon. Now, we all know Iran is flying on fucking magic carpets. These motherfuckers are not making a nuclear bomb. And if they are, they're probably not close to it. Israel assassinated their scientists in 2025. They drug us into it. And this was used as the Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. We can't trust them. These people are dogs. We can't trust them with a nuclear weapon. And obviously, that only really benefits Israel. They're not really ops with any other country in the Middle East that I can think of. Um, but Iran and Israel have been ops since 1979. The Iranian hostage crisis also going on with America. Now, Israel does not want them to have these weapons of mass destruction. You heard that before? If you guys are like hip with the George Bush era of these wars in the Middle East. On February 28th, the United States and Israel carried out bombings on both military and civilian sites in the Iranian capital of Tehran and other sites in Iran. Now, this is pretty obvious why they're trying to do this. They're trying to stunt the development and the missile and air priorities in Iran for a future ground invasion of Iran to not only topple their government and military so that Israel can have more control over them, but to also just break the spirit of their people. There's no other reason to really be bombing civilian sites, just launching bombs into the city. Now, one thing I am happy to see, obviously, I don't support any kind of violence politically or otherwise, but Israel's getting what's coming to them now. Tel Aviv is getting absolutely shelled by artillery fire, by bombs from Iran, as well as other Israeli allies in the Middle East. I know Qatar has been getting fucked. The Burj Khalifa almost got collapsed by a bomb. I would show it, but I don't know if YouTube would be too happy with me. Um, the attacks did go to plan for Israel and the United States. They neutralized the Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Now, he obviously wants what he thinks is best for Iran is to be enemies with Israel. That just comes with the territory. Um, Not only to be enemies with Israel, but to obviously gain his own country some power. And all of this is just part of the larger scheme to kill and neuter all of the enemies and neighbors of Israel for a future expansion of territory into the West Bank and Gaza. And that's what they've been doing with Hamas. They did it in Syria. They did it in Iraq. Now they're doing it in Iran. I would expect Egypt or all of the neighboring countries next to Israel to be next. Um, Now, on the United States side of things, it is now confirmed as I'm recording this on Monday. 6 American lives have been lost for Israel. Absolutely terrible, horrific stuff. You don't want any of your boys to go die for a parasitic, demonic country such as Israel. Just terrible, terrible stuff. 6 Americans are dead. As long as we lost 3 F-15s, I believe they're F-15s, to friendly fire in, I believe it was Qatar. Um, all of those pilots, all 6 of them, were returned safely. Um, but we've known Trump and Netanyahu are best buddies. Trump is almost as good of friends with Netanyahu as he is with Jeffrey Epstein, but that's besides the point. Um, on every occasion Netanyahu gets, he comes up and says, Donald Trump is the biggest friend that Israel's ever had in the White House. And it's obvious. Trump is a puppet for Israel. Whether he just is blackmailed, a lot of people, I think, just say everybody is blackmailed. But whether this was part of him becoming president, part of him becoming to the Republican ticket, whatever it was to get him to be agreeing with Israel, we don't really know. But this is going to be used as the big story for these next couple months, weeks, however long this war goes on. And this is all going to be distracting us from the failures of the Trump administration thus far. No mass deportations, the covering up of the Epstein files. He said he was a no new war president. And where are we at? We bombed Iran. We went into Venezuela. We're doing regime change in Iran. Where is this rhetoric that we were promised in the election cycle? Where is the no new wars? Where is the good economy? Where are the mass deportations? They are not happening. And I do have a video planned on why JD Vance will be terrible for America, why Marco Rubio or whoever is on the ticket in 2028, if they're not America first, they need to die politically. The message we need to send in 2028 is you're America first or you're not getting fucking voted for. End of story. End of story. This is all connected, guys. When year after year, election after election, the Republicans, what are they doing for us? The only people who have benefited from this is the Jews in Israel. Israel gets their regime change war. Jews get fucking impartial treatment in Harvard, in all these Ivy League institutions. They need to combat anti-Semitism. You're being anti-Semitic. All of these things. Why the Christian white conservative base that they pander to because they need to win the election, what are we getting? We're getting fucked. We are getting, I don't want to get too graphic here, but I could go on about that. And that'll be the next video I have for you guys. One more thing I have, just 1,000 airstrikes and counting. As the time I typed this out, which was yesterday, Sunday night, 1,000 airstrikes from the Americans and the Israelis to Iran. That is what I've got for you guys today. More news will be coming out and I will be making more videos. If you guys did enjoy the video, drop a like on the channel, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Rumble, follow me on X/Twitter, and I will see you guys in the next video.